Good evening and welcome to the day's session. This is a program or rather a course on functional English organized by the Department of Youth Services, Government of Andhra Pradesh. We are indeed proud to say that we are into the 19th session and are also very happy to note that there is a very positive response to these classes. People are finding it useful. And actually, it is not just for students. It is for everyone, whether you are a school going 10th class student or somebody pursuing your higher education, intermediate, college, or a person who is yet to be employed, or somebody who's already employed, or a male or a female who just wants to learn English. Anybody, it is for everybody, for all those who wish to use English in their everyday situations. Functional English itself means using English in everyday situations. When we are talking of everyday situations, we have listed quite a few of them, and we have also done quite a few of them, starting from greeting, describing others, making suggestions, asking for permission, advising, so on and so forth. But in between these, we have also done a bit of the structures of English. How are sentences made? This is the basic thing if we want to use English. So therefore, we did quite a few, sessions on how to ask a question, whether it is a yes or no question, or is it an open-ended question, whatever it is. How is a question constructed and how is an answer given? Because all communication is about giving and receiving information, ideas, opinions, so on and so forth. And to do this, we have also invited, and we keep inviting students to our studios. As I said, communication is not a one-man show. It needs people. We need people. And if you are wanting to improve your communication, it's not possible to do it alone. You should find somebody to whom you use the language with. You talk to them in English. You write to them in English. So it just needs the communication. You do need more than one. What you do alone is study, is knowing, is improving your knowledge. But what you do with somebody else is actually practicing, is actually using what you learn in a situation that is relevant. Today's session is on tenses. When I say tenses, and we are doing tenses because there have been repeated requests from our viewers on tenses. And rightly so, I'm happy that they have asked for it. Because we all know, if I have to narrate the story of the Ramayana to you, or I have to narrate any story where there are a few characters, then Rama remains Rama in the entire Ramayana. Rama was born, Rama played, Rama went to the forest, Rama married Sita, Sita was stolen, Rama found Hanuman, so on and so forth. All of us know the story, and Rama remains Rama from the beginning of Ramayana till the end of it. But what happens in between is what Rama did. That word is the action word we call the verb. And this keeps changing. There are so many verbs used. If you really want to narrate the story of the Ramayana, you will have to use quite a lot of verbs. And those verbs change. They don't remain constant as such. We will be looking at that. And that is because they are governed by what is called tense. What is tense in English? Tense is the heart line of the verb. Without it, verbs do not exist. Without it, verbs cannot function. Without it, verbs don't do what they are supposed to do in communication. As I said earlier, for any communication to happen, we need people. For example, even though I'm looking at a camera and talking, I need you, viewers, so that I can communicate what I'm trying to communicate to you. It is never a one-way process. And for that, we have a couple of students here, and they are, to my right are Verma and, may I know your name, lady? Yes, Sayed Tasleem. These are two students, and they are first year students. So, they are slightly nervous as possibly you would be on the other side. But nevertheless, we should really thank them for being with us. And we will see how we learn tenses today with the help of these two students. Maybe you can introduce yourself, Verma. Where are you studying? Keep the mic on. Yes.
My name is Balaji Verma and came from SRS CVR Government Degree College. I went to Padmatlanka, Vijayawada.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good
Good evening to all. I am Sayed Tasleem. I'm from KVN College. KVN College.
What are you studying? You're doing your BCom?
Yes,
No,
ma'am.
you did tell me earlier you're doing your BCom. So we have two students here, both are degree students, first year students. So let us see, and looking at them and hearing them for the past 10 minutes, I do feel we are going to have an enjoyable session learning the tenses. Now, what is tense? To do that, let me share my PPT with you. Now here, tenses. Note the spelling. Every bit is important. And you people can answer on the other side. You can shout out your answers, though I may not be able to hear it, but nevertheless, you can always check it. And here I request these students to shout out their answers. Again, you may not see them. What you will see on the screen is only a picture. I'm going to show you a few series of pictures, and Varma and Tasneem are going to shout out the answers. Okay? Even the others here in the room, you can shout out your answers. And the first picture is, now what is this little boy doing?
Shouting.
Laughing.
Laughing?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Laughing.
What is this
Sleeping.
little boy doing?
Sleeping.
Sleeping.
Running.
What are these people doing?
They are running.
They are running. Louder, Varma and Tasneem, both of you, I want you to answer loudly. What is this little child doing?
Crying.
Crying.
Crying. Can you say it in a sentence? What is this girl doing?
Singing.
Singing.
Singing. What is this?
Throwing ball.
Throwing the ball.
She is throwing
She's
ball.
throwing the ball.
They are fighting.
They are fighting.
Washing hands.
This is a very important thing to do, especially these days. We have to repeatedly wash our hands. Somebody is washing his or her hands. What is this little girl doing?
Watching.
Watching TV.
Watching
TV.
TV. What are these?
Reading
Reading books.
They are reading.
They are reading books.
Louder, slightly.
Reading books.
Reading. What is this man doing?
Stealing. Steal.
Steal.
Steal the bag.
Is he steal or is he stealing?
Stealing the bag.
Stealing the bag
Yes, ma'am.
or something inside the bag?
There is a cash.
Something inside the bag.
From something inside the bag.
Maybe cash.
Maybe cash. What is this lady doing?
Cooking.
She is
She is cooking.
Cookie.
cooking. What is this man doing?
Throwing ball.
Throwing the ball. And if he is throwing the ball, what is this girl doing?
Hitting.
The girl is hitting the ball, throwing the ball. What is this man doing? Is the ball in his hands or is it out of the hands?
In hand.
In the hands. So what can we say?
Catching.
The ball. Very good.
Catching.
And what is this little boy doing?
Shopping.
Saying bye.
Saying bye. He
Bye.
is waving his hand. Now you will see that these are, you have seen how there are so many verbs. It is not just these. Looking is a verb, seeing is a verb, writing is a verb, speaking is a verb. Hitting is a verb, sleeping is a verb, writing is a verb, eating is a verb. There are so many verbs. Every sentence we have a verb. Every sentence is made only when we want to say what somebody is doing. Therefore, the trickiness with verbs is, you take a look at the next slide. The trickiness with verbs is the concept of tenses. We need a lot of clarity in tenses. Here, I request my two students here, Varma and Tasleem, to do the role of a teacher and a student here. Though I'm the teacher here, but they are going to do the role play of a teacher and a student. Let us see what they have to say.
What day is it today?
It is Tuesday.
What day was it yesterday?
It was Monday yesterday.
What day it will be tomorrow?
It will be Wednesday tomorrow.
Now you've seen that is a very brief one. What day is it today? Tuesday. What day was it yesterday? Monday. What day will it be tomorrow? Wednesday. Just these 3 days. And what do we see here? This is just to make the concept clear. Now, this is the conversation that they have done. What day is it today? Is it today? Was it yesterday? Will it be tomorrow? Now, these three, the teacher and the student, the little sentences that they have made show you time. At what time? For example, this is the present, yesterday was the past, and tomorrow is the future. And all of you know this. I'm just, telling, we are just recollecting. It's a quick recap of what we have already learned. So what we already know, we will rush through. What needs reinforcement, we'll go slightly slower. Now, tense is not just time. Tense is time plus something more. And what is that? Work. How much of work is done or was done or, is happening at a particular point of time. Take a look at this. I am teaching. So the teaching, the act of teaching, right now I'm doing, and it is continuing. It's not over. It will continue till 6:15. So what? So this is a continuity. There is a continuity in this act, and therefore it's called the continuous tense. How much of work is done? Work is not complete. It is continuing. Now, at 6:30 or in the morning today, I wrote a letter. I wrote a letter. Writing the letter is over. Therefore, I call it perfect. What does perfect mean? Complete. Perfect is complete. Perfect is over. Perfect is finished. Therefore, any action that is complete any action that is over, any action that is finished, we use the perfect tense. And the next one, indefinite. What does indefinite mean? See, I don't know when it began. Is it going on now? I don't even know when it will end. When it is such a thing, I call it an indefinite tense. So that is called indefinite, and we convert it into what is called, it is the simplest of tense because we use the verb, the very basic verb without changing its form much. It's an indefinite thing. If we understand the continuous nature of a verb, the completed nature of a verb, and the indefinite nature of a verb, we have learned tense. So these two together, the time at which an action occurred and the quantity of work that is done or that is being done or that is over, these two will determine the tense. And the last one is a perfect continuous form. Partly the work is over, partly it is continuing. When we have to talk about something like that, and we have to learn this because this is part of grammar, we will do the perfect continuous tense. But if you understand the nature of continuity, the nature of completeness, and the nature of being indefinite, the concept of tense is very, very good. Now take a look at this. Various forms of the action word. Now, when you take any verb, any action word, it has various forms. Now, since I wake up early in the morning, and the first thing that I do is I start cooking. So this is an everyday action for me. Therefore, if I take the verb cooking, cooking can be said in so many ways. Just the word cook. This is the word cook. Cook is a verb. Cook ante enti vanta cheyadam. Now, cooking, how many forms does it have? Take a look at this. Cook, are cooking. You can, read it loudly. Burma, and, you can read out all the verbs.
Cook, cooks, are
Or
cooking.
cooking is cooking. I'm
Yes.
cooking. Was cooking. Cooked. I have been cooking.
Were
Were
cooking.
cooking. I has been cooking. Has
Burma,
cooked.
come on.
Has
cooked.
cooked.
Has been cooked.
Had
Has been cooking.
had
Have
been
cooked.
cooked.
Had
I
been
did
cooked.
not cooked.
Does
Does
cooking.
cooking. Does
Doesn't cook.
not cooked.
Did cook. Do cook. Don't cook. Does cook.
There are so many. Now, let me ask Varma and Taslim. When do you use which one? Cooking, there are so many. So, when will you use which verb will you use at what time? Do you have any ideas to when this can be used?
I am cooking is present continuous.
Okay.
Was cooking is past.
Past. Okay.
Past continue.
Okay.
Cooked,
Past continuous.
cooked means just right now finished.
Cooked is just finished. Now, this is the single word cook. And I have not used will be cooking, will cook. I have not used it at all here. Or shall cook, or shall be cooking, should have cooked, or would have cooked. I have not used them. If I put them also, this is quite a list. Now here, when this is the case, it's important for us to understand the concept of the helping verb. Just the word cook became cooks and cooked. If you remove these two, all the others have a helping verb. Is cooking, was cooking, were cooking, am cooking, has been cooking, have been cooking, have cooked. There are two parts in the verb. Definitely two parts. Two words make a verb or three words make a verb. Therefore, we have to understand the concept of the helping verb. When do you use which helping verb? Take a look at this. The concept of the helping verb. If you look at this sentence, she does not understand English. If you just take this one thing, does not understand, this is the negative form. Does understand is the verb. There are two parts. When do we use a helping verb? I have shown you 3 T-shirts, right? So why have I shown you these 3 T-shirts? You all know. We've seen them in schools, we've seen them in inter-college, sports events or inter-college events. Why do we use the different colors? Now, what happens is, now you want to have, in the school or college, you want to have a sports event. If you want to have a sports event, you normally, what do? We have some kind of a competition. When there is a competition, there are different teams. When you have different teams, or when the entire school or college is divided into houses, different categories, from the senior most to the junior most, put in various houses, and they all have a competing match. How is it possible for the management to know who is playing, who is not playing, who is playing against whom? The easiest way to identify, to recognize them so that they don't go away anywhere, or if you're taking your school children on an excursion or an exhibition where there are so many other schools also coming in, it is a huge Herculean task for the teacher to keep track of all the students. What is the easiest way to do it? If I have my school children all in green, then wherever I see a green T-shirt, I don't even need to look at the face. A green T-shirt, I can pull them back and say, this is a student of my school, and I can bring him back safely. It's easy to count heads. So let us also follow the rule of how to recognize a verb as to whether it is past tense or present tense or future tense. To do this, we will put them in 3 colors. Let's see what they are. I've used green for the present tense. I've used the blue for the, light blue for the past tense, and dark blue for the future. And we will follow this color scheme till we learn the tenses. The present tense, the past tense, and the future tense. So as soon as you see something that is there in this green box, you should know it is green, it is the present tense. So let's take a look at the helping verbs. What are the present tense helping verbs? I hope all of you have your notebooks and please stay with us till the end of the session so that you understand very clearly what these are, and I promise you to make it as simple as possible, so because this is the heart of constructing a correct sentence. Now, present tense helping verbs, you can read them loudly. What are the present tense
Is
helping
or
verbs?
has.
Is, are, and am.
Have.
Has and have. Does
do.
and do. So the minute you say is cooking, it is present tense. Are cooking, it is present tense. And cooking, it is present tense. Has cooked, present tense. Have cooked, present tense. Does cooking, present tense. Do cooking, present. So when you have these helping verbs, does not do cooking, present tense. When you have these verbs, all these indicate, even without looking at the entire sentence, you can say we are talking in the present tense. The action is occurring in the present. రెండు రకాలుగా మీరు చూడాలి. verb ని చూసి టెన్స్ చెప్పాలి. ఈ టెన్స్ ఎప్పుడు వాడుతున్నామో తెలుసుకొని ఇదే టెన్స్ వాడాలి, ఈ వర్డ్సే వాడాలి. ఇట్స్ a two-way process. Identifying the verb, identifying the tense of the verb, that is the initial stage. ముందు చేయవలసింది ఐడెంటిఫికేషన్, ఈ టెన్స్ ఏంటి కరెక్ట్ గా ఐడెంటిఫై చేసామా లేదా. సెకండ్, ఐడెంటిఫై చేసాము, నేర్చుకున్నాము, వాడాలి. నేను ప్రెసెంట్ లో ఏదైనా చెప్పాలి అనుకుంటే ఇవి ఇవి వీటితోటే నేను సెంటెన్స్ చెయ్యాలి అనేది మీకు రావాలి. సో దిస్ ఇస్ ప్రెసెంట్ టెన్స్. వాట్ ఆర్ ద పాస్ట్ టెన్స్ ఫార్మ్స్?
Was, had,
Was,
did,
had,
did,
and did. These are the three. And what are the future things?
will or shall
or
be,
shall be,
will or
will
shall
or
have,
shall have.
will or shall do.
Yes. Now, if you notice this, the first line here is the be form, be. Be form ni inni rakaluga marutundi. Second one is the have form. So present tense lo has or have vastundi, and in the past tense had and will have in the future. Did, do form takes does or do in the present tense, did in the past tense, will or shall do. So what happens? ఇది చాలా పాస్ట్ టెన్స్ చాలా సింపుల్ గా ఉంది. 3 వర్డ్స్ వాడాలి. వాస్ కానీ, హ్యాడ్ కానీ, డిడ్ కానీ, చాలా ఈజీగా ఐడెంటిఫై చేస్తాం. ఇక్కడ ఇన్ని ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి ఏది ఎప్పుడు వాడాలి, దట్ ఈస్ లుక్ ఎట్ దిస్ సెంటెన్స్ అగైన్. She does not understand English. So without noticing anything, there is a does here. The green, wearing the green shirt, T-shirt. So what tense is this?
Present.
Present
It
tense.
is the present tense. But there are two parts of the verb, right?
Yes.
There are two parts. So what happens to the word understand? Then take a look at that. If you look at understand, verbs have 3 forms also.
Present, past, perfect.
Perfect tense. దాన్ని గ్రామర్ లో V1, verb 1, verb 2 and verb 3
Verb three.
అంటారు. They are called. Any grammar textbook will give you these three. The V1 form, V2 form and the V3 form. Simple. How are they? I'll give you just one example. You can. Some verbs are regular verbs. Regular verb అంటే ఏంటి? ప్రెసెంట్ టెన్స్ లో ప్లే అయినప్పుడు పాస్ట్ టెన్స్ లో ప్లేడ్ ఈడి కలుపుతాం. పర్ఫెక్ట్ టెన్స్ లో ఏం చేస్తాము, దానికి ఈడిఏ కలుపుతాం. The past and the perfect are the same. That is a regular verb. Act, acted, acted. Play, played, played. Cook, cook, cook. So it takes the same thing. But there are some verbs that are irregular. Are there any rules to learn them? Probably no. All you have to do is take a list of verbs and see the V1, V2, V3 form and 4-5 times go through them. You will know what these three are and how they change. The second one, eat, ate, eaten.
Eaten.
Eat is present tense, ate is past tense, eaten is the perfect form. దీన్ని ఇర్రెగ్యులర్ వర్బ్. ఎందుకు అది అలాగైంది అంటే ఎవరని చెప్పలేదు. దిస్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు లర్న్. యూ హ్యావ్ టు లర్న్ ఇట్. See, knowledge is something that you have to learn. And when you use that knowledge correctly, it becomes a skill. So drink, drank, drunk.
Drunk.
See how they all are very, very different. These two are called irregular verbs. Eat and drink are called irregular verbs. Play is called a regular verb. So what do you understand till now? Helping verbs are the ones that tell you what tense the verb is in. That is point one. They not only tell you the tense of the verb, but they also make you understand as to what verb you should use where. It's a two-way process. As I keep telling you, this is important. నేర్చుకోవడం ఒక ఎత్తు అయితే వాడడం ఇంకా ఇంపార్టెంట్. నేర్చుకోవడానికి ముందు మనకు కావాల్సింది ఐడెంటిఫై చేయగలడు, కరెక్ట్గా ఐడెంటిఫై చేయగలడు. ఐడెంటిఫికేషన్ ఎప్పుడైతే కరెక్ట్గా వచ్చిందో వాడుకలోకి ఈజీగా ట్రాన్స్లేట్ అవుతుంది. సో హెల్పింగ్ వర్బ్ జాగ్రత్తగా మీరు స్టడీ చేస్తే you will know which tense the sentence is in. Once you start knowing, so is ante present tense, am ante present tense, has ante present tense, ఇది వచ్చిన తర్వాత నేను ప్రెసెంట్ టెన్స్ లో ఏదైనా సెంటెన్స్ చెప్పాలి అనుకున్నప్పుడు హ్యాడ్ వాడకూడదు. ఎందుకు? మనం నేర్చుకున్నాం హ్యాస్ అండ్ హ్యావ్ వాడాలి కాబట్టి, ఇవే వాడాలి కాబట్టి నేను ప్రెసెంట్ టెన్స్ ఇప్పుడు జరుగుతున్న దాన్ని ఏదైనా చెప్పాలి అనుకుంటే has గాని have గాని వాడాలి. Knowledge gets translated into action, and that is skill. Skill is doing something with the language. So this is an important thing. Let's move on. Now, having seen this, that the verb has two parts, or someday two parts. One is the helping verb part and the other one is the main verb part. Has been is one part, has been cooking, cooking is the other part. It has two distinct parts. Two distinct parts, three words. ఇంతవరకు అర్థమైతే, if you have any questions, I'll open the chat box for you now. If you have any queries, please share it immediately so that we can continue. Are there any questions from any of the viewers? Is everything clear? If everything is clear, just say yes, and then we move on. Okay? I've just got one yes. I assume that all of you are attentive. Please keep your, the video on. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Right. Okay, till now, since everything is clear, the helping verb is the one that helps you to identify what tense it is in. And the second part in the verb is either the V1 form or V2 form or V3 form. This you have to understand. I request all of you, and I keep repeating this over and over in all my sessions. You can be confident with the language only when you know more and more and more words. And what kind of words? It's not just nouns, not names of things, but adverbs, verbs, adjectives, describing words. ఇవన్నీ తెలిసి టెన్సెస్ బాగా వాడడం వస్తే language, using the language is very, very, very easy. Is very, very interesting, because you would be, using all the things that you are actually using them, and you would be very happy, and it makes things very, very interesting. మనకి రానప్పుడు కొంచెం కష్టపడి మానేస్తాం. నేర్చుకుంటున్నప్పుడు వస్తున్నది అనుకున్నప్పుడు అడుగులు వేయడానికి చూస్తాం. బాగా అడుగులు వేయగలగా అన్నప్పుడు డాన్స్ చేయడానికి చూస్తాం. So for all this, your footwork is important. To dance well, your footwork is important. For your footwork to be important, you should start learning to walk. You simply cannot say, I cannot walk, I can only crawl. If you can say, I can only crawl, you cannot walk. See, in these three words, I've said footwork, crawl, walk, dance, hip, scarf, hip, hop, jump. కాళ్ళతోటే ఇన్ని చేయగలం అన్నది ఎప్పుడు చెప్పగలను? ఈ వర్డ్స్ అన్ని వస్తే గానీ నేను చెప్పలేను. సో ఏం చేయాలి? ఇప్పుడు జంప్ అన్న వర్డ్ తెలిసింది కాబట్టి ఈజ్ జంపింగ్, వాజ్ జంపింగ్ ఇన్ని రకాలుగా వాడగలం. హాప్ అనేది తెలిసింది కాబట్టి హాపింగ్ అంటాం. స్కిప్ అనేది తెలిసింది కాబట్టి స్కిప్పింగ్, స్కిప్డ్, ఈజ్ స్కిప్పింగ్, హ్యాస్ బీన్ స్కిప్పింగ్. ఇన్ని ఈ వర్డ్ అసలైన మెయిన్ వర్బ్ తెలియాలి. అది ఎలా తెలుస్తుంది? Either you read or you listen to English, or you just consciously take word lists and study them and use them. There are different methods of improving your vocabulary. You should do it if you want to master the language. So helping verb is important to identify the tense. We'll move on. Now here, I told you in the very first slide how there are, how much of action is done. Tenses relation between time and work done. What is the point of time and how much of work is done? In these two, the relationship is either it is indefinite, you don't even know when it began or when it would end. You cannot point it out at a particular point of time. That is called the simplest form or indefinite form. So that is the simple present. Continuous form. Action is going on and therefore it is continuing. It has not stopped. Therefore, some action in the present is continuing. Present perfect. In the present tense, the action is over, and in the present, the action is partly over and partly continuing. We'll take a detailed look at each one of them. And in the similar manner, we have the past indefinite, simple past, past continuous, past perfect, and past perfect continuous. Future, simple future, future continuous, future perfect, and future perfect. I hope all of you are taking down notes as we are going through the session. Now, the simple past, the simple present. As I told you, you helping verbs also you must have noticed. There are many helping verbs in the present tense. So if you master the present, learning the past tense and the future tense is very, very easy. It makes it very simple because this is just, jugglery of words. Ball ila visirunnatte. ఇది ఈ యాక్షన్ బాల్ విసరడం బాగా వచ్చిందంటే ప్రెసెంట్ టెన్స్ అయినా ఒకటే పాస్ట్ టెన్స్ అయినా ఒకటే ఫ్యూచర్ బట్ దిస్ ఫస్ట్ యాక్షన్ ఆఫ్ థ్రోయింగ్ ద బాల్ అండ్ నాట్ అలౌవింగ్ ఇట్ టు డ్రాప్ దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ జగ్లింగ్ దట్ ఈస్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ప్రెసెంట్ టెన్స్ లో ఇది బాగా మీరు నేర్చుకుంటే పాస్ట్ అండ్ ఫ్యూచర్ చాలా సింపుల్. Let us see when we use it. This again. This is before we look at the technicality of the simple present tense. ఇదివరకు చెప్పాను ఇప్పుడు మళ్ళా చెప్తున్నా. Form of the verb is cooking. అది ఎంత ఇంపార్టెంట్. అది ఎప్పుడు వాడతాము, ఫంక్షన్ ఆఫ్ దట్ వర్డ్ దేనికి అది వాడతాము అన్నది కూడా ఇంపార్టెంట్. సో ఫార్మ్ అండ్ ఫంక్షన్. Is cooking, when do I use it? Was cooking, when do I use it? Cooked, when do I use it? Form and function. So we are going to look at the simple present or all the present tense forms in relation to this. When do we use what? Okay. Now, uses of the simple present tense. When do we use it? It already ఒకసారి సెషన్లో చేసాము. For those who are joining us new, please go through all the sessions so that you will follow us, to perfection and you'll understand what we are trying to teach you. For all habits and routines, we use the simple present tense. I drink coffee every morning. I drink. డ్రింక్ అనేది ఏంటి, బేసిక్ వర్బ్ వాడుతుంది. ఐ డ్రింక్ కాఫీ ఎవ్రీ మార్నింగ్. ఆల్ పర్మనెంట్ సిచ్యువేషన్స్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, మై బ్రదర్ లివ్స్ ఇన్ చెన్నై. అంటే ఇప్పుడున్నాడు, చాలా కాలం నుంచి ఉన్నాడు, ఇంకా ఉంటాడేమో. అంటే ఒక టైం ఫ్రేమ్ లేదు, ఇప్పటి నుంచి ఇప్పటి దాకా అని లేనప్పుడు he uses a simple present tense. For all facts, any fact, we use the simple present tense. The earth rotates round the sun. ఎప్పటి నుంచో రొటేట్ అవుతుంది, ఈ రోజు రొటేట్ అయ్యి రేపు రొటేట్ అవుతుంది, ఎప్పటిదాకా రొటేట్ అవుతుందో కూడా మనకు తెలియదు. It's a proved fact. We use the simple present tense. And any state verb. What is a state verb? State verbs are those that, for example, like, love, hate, want. దీనికి ఇంతవరకే నేను లైక్ చేస్తాను, ఇంతవరకు దాని తర్వాత నేను లైక్ చెయ్యను అన్న కాన్సెప్ట్ లేదు. ఎప్పటికైనా నాకు ఇష్టమే. ఇష్టం అన్నది మారదు. ఒకవేళ మారినా ఒకప్పుడు ఇష్టం తర్వాత ఇష్టం లేదు అని చెప్పిన సెంటెన్స్ లో వేరేలాగా చెప్తాం. కానీ ఐఎన్జి ఫార్మ్స్ వీటికి తీసుకోవు. సో న్యాచురలీ ఐ వాంట్ ఐస్ క్రీమ్, ఐఎమ్ వాంటింగ్ ఐస్ క్రీమ్ అని చెప్తాం. When you want to say, sorry, when you want to say I drink coffee every morning, I am drinking coffee every morning is not correct. I'm drinking coffee every morning. అంటే సెంటెన్స్ తప్పైపోయింది. I'm drinking coffee now. Sentence is correct. I'm drinking coffee every morning. Sentence is incorrect. Anything that is a habit or a routine, we cannot use the present continuous form. We have to use the simple present. So the next thing is, what is the kind of spelling that happens here? Look at this. Most verbs, they take the S or ES. They take the S. Love, loves. Run, runs. అంటే ఏంటి? ఎప్పుడు subject I, singular. He, singular. She, singular. Rama, singular. Krishna, singular. Verma, singular. Taslim, singular. They, plural. Rama and Krishna, plural. Verma and Taslim, plural. When the subject is in the plural form, we use only the basic verb. For example, pass. They pass. I pass. He passes. Singular subject అయినప్పుడు SES యాడ్ చేస్తాం ఆర్ IES యాడ్ చేస్తాం. అది కాకుండా ప్లూరల్ అయినప్పుడు పాస్ లాగే ఉంచుతాం. Most verbs, where they add the S, simply they add the S. But if the verb ends with an S, CH, SH, X, or any consonant O, for example, pass, S add అయింది, దానికి ES కలుపు. CH, the verb ends with CH. Search, searches, we add the ES. Wish, SH, we add the ES. X, fix, fixes. Go, goes. Do, does, we add the ES. When there is a vowel, what is a vowel? A, E, I, O, U. Y ముందు ఒక vowel ఉంటే, alphabet ఉంటే, A, E, I, O, U ఉంటే, we add the S. But if there is a consonant, A, E, I, O, U తీసేస్తే మిగతా alphabets ఏది ఉన్నా కూడా, R గాని, L గాని, D గాని ఏది ఉన్నా కూడా, try, TRY, Y ముందు consonant ఉంది. We drop the Y and we add IES. Fly, FLY, FLIES. Study, DY, we drop the Y, studies. And irregular verbs are the helping verbs, వాటి ఫామే మారిపోయి. In the present tense, their form changes. Singular అయితే has, plural అయితే have. Singular అయితే is, plural అయితే are. ఐకి మాత్రం స్పెషల్. ఐ ఇస్ ఆల్వేస్ స్పెషల్. నేను అన్నది చాలా స్పెషల్, అది గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి. నేను చాలా స్పెషల్. సో ఐ హ్యావ్ అ స్పెషల్ వర్బ్ ఫర్ ఇట్. And so these are the spelling rules. And finally, positive and negative sentences. if you take the pronouns I, you, we, they, play, don't play. ఇది ఎందుకు చెప్తున్నానంటే I play, you play, he, she, it plays, right? But when it is in the negative form, don't play, you add the don't and we use the play. But when it is play, it is does not plays కాదు, play. Do, does, did తో ఏ verb వచ్చినా the basic form ఏ వాడతాము. Does not play, does not cook. He cooks, he does not cook. They play, they do not play. Simple. అక్కడ ప్లే ఉంది, ప్లే డస్ నాట్ తర్వాత కూడా వచ్చింది. కానీ హీ ప్లేస్ తర్వాత హీ డస్ నాట్ ప్లే. సో ఇన్ ద నెగటివ్ ఫార్మ్ we have to take note of this. The others is very simple. I am, I'm not. He is not. She is, she's not. You are, you are not. It is not just this. Isn't, aren't. That is the contracted form. While speaking, we use the contracted forms. I have not shown you here, but it is important to know what they are. Now, as I said, daily routine. We use the simple present tense. We'll see, having learned this much, we'll see how Varma talks about his daily routine. We'll see whether he is using all the verbs correctly. I'm going to keep the chat box open as Varma is saying. If you identify any verb that is not the simple present, please type in the chat box so that you can identify whether Varma is using it rightly or not. Here is the chat box for you. I'm opening it for all the viewers. Yes. Now listen to Varma speaking, talking about his daily routine, and identify all the verbs that he is using correctly and also incorrectly. Say, all the correct ones you can mark on one column, and the incorrect ones you can simply type the word and say, this is not correct. Okay, the chat box is open for you. Yes, start work.
I wake up at 6 o'clock.
Louder, louder.
I wake up at 6 o'clock and I'm get ready to go to college, and I'm go to bus stand to catch my bus, and I attend the classes, and afternoon I eat my yummy food with my friends. After I leave the college and I am way to home to hang out with my friends. Then I will study sometime and then sleep.
Anybody has anything to say? I hope you've listened. Shall we repeat? Shall we ask Varma to repeat it? Please repeat.
I wake up at 6 o'clock and I get ready to go to college. Then I go to bus stand to catch my bus, and I attend the classes, and afternoon I eat my yummy food with my friends. After I leave the college and I'm way to home to hang out with my friends. Then I'm study sometime and then I sleep.
Okay. Now, I don't know, none of you have typed, but I have written down. Does anybody wants to say anything? Have you identified any of the verbs that are incorrect? ఏవైనా తప్పు చెప్పాడా? తప్పు చెప్తే ఏంటవి? అవి మనం ఎలా కరెక్ట్ చేస్తాం? I woke up. He said I wake up. Okay. Can you give me your script for me, whatever you have written? That's all? Would you please repeat, ma'am? You want me to repeat? I wake up, not I woke up. Woke up is yesterday. I want all of you to listen to Varma's daily routine. And as he talks about his daily routine, identify the verbs that are wrong and type them in the chat box. If there are any wrong verbs, please type them. Varma atani daily routine చెప్తాడు. అని చదువుతున్నప్పుడు తప్పు verb లో ఏదైనా తప్పు ఉంటే ఆ తప్పు వర్బ్ చాట్ బాక్స్ లో టైప్ చేయండి. Again.
I wake up at 6 o'clock and I get ready to go to college and I go to bus stand to catch my bus and I attend the classes and afternoon I eat my yummy food with my friends. After I leave the college and I way to home to hang out with my friends, then I will study sometime and then I sleep.
Does anyone have anything to say? Okay, if not, I'm going to, continue. See, I am get ready is not accepted. I get ready. I wake up at 6 o'clock. I get ready. I go to college. I come back in the evening, hang out with friends. All that was okay. I am studying. No. When we use the simple present tense, we do not use any helping verb. I hope, Verma, you've understood that.
Yes, ma'am.
When we use the simple present tense, we do not use any helping verb. Is, was, ivevi helping verb laga raadu. This is a pen. It's a fact. This is a pen. Is vaadtam. Kani is తో పాటు helping verb లాగా వాడము. I am good. I am a teacher. This is a fact. I am a teacher. This is a fact. Is వాడాను. కానీ I am eating or I am teach every day. Wrong. I am teach is not right. I teach every day. Or she teaches every day. I am a teacher is okay. So helping verbs do not act. You do not have a helping verb in the simple present tense when you talk about routines, when you talk about facts, when you talk about universal truths, or when you talk about state verbs. We do not use any helping verb. I hope all of you have understood. Now, let's move on to the next one, which is the present continuous tense. Uses of the present continuous. Again, form. ఎలా ఉంటుంది, అది ఏం చేస్తుంది. ఎలా ఉంటుంది అన్నదానికి ఇక్కడ చూడండి. I'm teaching. I'm reading. He is eating. I'm meeting. They are eating. Singular అయితే. He is eating. She is eating. Ravi is eating. Krishna is eating. I అయితే. I singular. Kani special. I am eating. You plural అవ్వచ్చు, సింగులర్ అవ్వచ్చు. You are eating. You singular అయినా ఆరే, plural అయినా ఆరే. You are eating. It certainly has a helping verb. Present continuous uses the be form and it has a helping verb, and the main verb has ing. ing ఉంటే అది కంటిన్యూసే. కంటిన్యూస్ లో మాత్రమే ing యాడ్ చేస్తాము. వర్బ్ కి వి యాడ్ ద ing ఓన్లీ ఇన్ ద కంటిన్యూస్ ఫామ్. అండ్ కంటిన్యూస్ ఫామ్ చెయ్యాలి అంటే దానికి హెల్పింగ్ వర్బ్ తప్పనిసరిగా ఉండాలి. మీరు కొన్ని సెంటెన్సెస్ చూస్తూ ఉంటారు. he is playing cricket. Playing is his hobby. He is playing cricket. బానే ఉంది. He is playing. ఇప్పుడు ఆడుకుంటున్నాడు. Playing is his hobby. ఇక్కడ సెకండ్ సెంటెన్స్ లో ప్లేయింగ్ వాడాను, కానీ దానికి ముందు హెల్పింగ్ వర్బ్ లేదు. హెల్పింగ్ వర్బ్ లేనప్పుడు అది వర్బే అవ్వదు అసలు. దాన్ని మన యాక్షన్ వర్డ్ అనే అనలేదు. అది జెరెండ్ అవుతుంది. ఐఎమ్ నాట్ గోయింగ్ టు కన్ఫ్యూజ్ యూ హియర్ విత్ జెరెండ్స్. or what a gerund is. Helping verb untene adi verb అవుతుంది. ఆ helping verb ing form of the verb ముందుంటే అప్పుడు అది continuous tense అవుతుంది. Let's take a look. ఎప్పుడు వాడతామో చూద్దాం. Actions that are going on now. I am teaching. Right now I'm teaching. You are listening. She is writing. He is looking at the camera. Varma is sitting here in the studio. Action that is going on now. We use the present continuous. Apart from that, temporary situations, even if the action isn't happening at this moment, అంటే అర్థం ఏంటి? I am reading a really great book. పెద్ద book. ఇంత లావు ఉన్న పుస్తకం. Can I finish it into 1 hour? No. I might have started 1 week back and I'm still reading somewhere in the middle. This is a temporary situation, and from the beginning of my reading till I finish it, I treat the entire thing as present. That we use the present continuous. I'm reading. Temporary or new habits. Suddenly ఒక కొత్త రొటీన్ నేను స్టార్ట్ చేశాను. ఇన్ ద మిడిల్ కొత్త రొటీన్. దానికి క్లియర్గా we often use this with expressions like these days, at the moment. ఈ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్ ఉండాలి. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, he is eating a lot these days. ఈ మధ్య కాలంలో ఎక్కువ తింటున్నాడు. ఈ మధ్య కాలంలో. These days. I am exercising heavily these days. These days I'm going for a walk. I am going for a walk. These days I'm walking in the morning and not in the evening. ఇది టెంపరీ హ్యాబిట్. ముందు నుంచి లేదు నాకు ఇది. కొన్ని రోజులకి ఇది ఉంటుంది. అటువంటప్పుడు వి యూజ్ ద ప్రెసెంట్ కంటిన్యూస్ టెన్స్. వెన్ టు యూజ్ ఇట్ అనేది క్లియర్గా అర్థం చేసుకోండి. ఇలాంటి సిచ్యువేషన్లో మీరు వాడవలసిన టెన్స్ ఏంటి? టెంపరీ హ్యాబిట్ అయినప్పుడు ప్రెసెంట్ కంటిన్యూస్. Definite future arrangements. What are definite future arrangements? రేపు నేను బాంబే వెళ్తున్నాను. క్లియర్గా తెలుసు రేపు అన్నది ఫిక్స్డ్ టైం. ఐఎమ్ మీటింగ్ మై ఫాదర్ టుమారో. ఇట్స్ అ ఫిక్స్డ్ టైం. ఐఎమ్ మీటింగ్. మీరు అడగచ్చు ఇది ఫ్యూచర్లో కదా, రేపు అంటే ఫ్యూచర్ కదా. ఫ్యూచర్ టైం క్లియర్గా ఇండికేట్ చేసినప్పుడు we can use the present continuous form. And how does the present continuous form look like? Is plus verb plus ing, am plus verb plus ing, are plus verb plus ing. Only these three. And remember, when is it used? Action that is happening now. Action that is happening over a period of present that we have defined, starting of one and continuing. Temporary routines. Suddenly I have started a new habit. I can use the present continuous thing. I can also use the present continuous when I'm referring to some action in the future, but the future time should be clearly indicated. I am teaching now. I have been preparing for this class. I am preparing for the next class. I am going to teach. I am going to teach on Thursday, coming Thursday. Future time very clearly indicated. These days, I am writing my notes. These days I'm writing my notes. అంటే ఏంటి, ముందు నాకు అది నోట్స్ రాయడం అలవాటు లేదు, కానీ ఇప్పుడు కొత్తగా నేను కొన్నాళ్ళ బట్టి రాస్తున్నాను. Then I can use the present continuous. I hope you understood when we use the present continuous. And present continuous is are and am plus verb plus ing. When you see this, it is the present continuous. When do you use the present continuous? action that is now, action that is happening for a period of time in the present, action that is going to probably happen in the future with the future time indicated. I am flying to Mumbai this weekend. I am flying. I am flying. He is going to visit us this weekend. Is going to visit us. He is visiting us this weekend. Is visiting this weekend. అంటే this weekend రాలేదు కదా ఈరోజు ఇంకా ట్యూస్డేనే సాటర్డే సండేని వీకెండ్ అంట. He is visiting us. ఫ్యూచర్ టైం క్లియర్ గా చెప్పినప్పుడు we can use the present continuous. Now let's take a look at the spellings in the present continuous. Very simple. You should know this. Verbs ending with a silent E. Dance, dance. Sa sound to end ayinante C sound to end అయిపోయింది. Silent E, they drop the E and take the ing. Routine, routine is a noun. Dine, D-I-N-E. Okay? Coming for dinner, nothing. Dining. We drop the E and add the ing. Drop the E and add ing. There are some verbs where we double the last consonant. Stop, S-T-O-P, S-T-O-P-P-I-N-G. Get, getting, T-T-I-N-G. Hit, H-I-T-T-I-N-G. We double it and add the ing. And there are certain verbs ending with IE. For example, tie, die, try. Try is T-R-Y. T-I-E, L-I-E, D-I-E. When the verb ends with an I-E, we drop the I-E and we add Y and ing. T-L-I-E, lie, L-Y-I-N-G, lying. They don't lie. They don't lie. He doesn't lie. Lie is the basic form. He is lying. He is trying. No, trying is T-R-Y. He is tying the bow. They don't generally tie the bow. He is tying the bow. T-Y-I-N-G. Take note of these spellings. You know, it's not just learning with these three words. ఈ మూడు వర్డ్స్ తో నేర్చుకోవడం కాదు. రూల్స్ ఇలా ఉంటాయి. ఐఈ తోటి వర్బ్ ఉంటే దాన్ని ఐఎన్జి కింద మార్చాలన్నప్పుడు ఐఈని తీసి వై పెట్టి ఐఎన్జి పెడతాం. If you know the rule, next time when you see a word like this, this rule should immediately hit you. That is why I'm trying to tell you these rules. I'm giving you limited examples, but I'm telling you the rules so that when you read another word which has a similar feature, you will understand. రెండు వర్డ్స్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ కింద ఇచ్చాం. మీరు మీ జనరల్ రీడింగ్ లో ఇటువంటి వర్డ్స్ వచ్చినప్పుడు మీరు గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, ఈ రూల్ని గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి. If you do that, as I said, your vocabulary will increase, your correctness will increase. Correct గా వాడడం ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతుంది. దీనికోసమే ఈ రూల్స్ చెప్పడం. Now let's take a quick look at the next thing. This is for the present continuous. రెండు అయ్యాయి కదా, ఇప్పుడు మూడోది. What's the third one? Present perfect. If you understand these three, it is enough. Actually, if you understand the present tense, it's very easy to understand the past, so that in my next class, I'll do the past tense and the future tense together. Please examine the present tense even after the session. Go through any grammar textbook, take a quick revision of the present tense. It is very easy for you to follow the other tenses. Now, uses of the present perfect. Again, let's first see, when do we use the present perfect? When the actions are unfinished and when the actions are finished. General ga perfect antene complete. Indak cheppanu, complete, over. So for an unfinished action, what should it be? How long? I have known Krishna since 1994. అప్పటి నుంచి తెలుసు అంటే ఇప్పుడు తెలియడం ఆగిపోయిందా? ఆగలేదు. కానీ తెలియడం అన్నది ఎప్పుడో జరిగింది. Complete. So it's an unfinished action, but knowing is over. So she has lived in Vijayawada for 3 years. Yes, since annappudu point of time, for annappudu period of time, for 3 years, for 5 years, for 6 months, for 1 month, for 1 year, anything. It is the period of time. And since వచ్చినప్పుడు point of time, since 1994, since April 1st, or since January 1st, 2021, point of time. That's the difference between since and for. And this is a point that is often given in competitive examinations, the use of since and for. So an unfinished action, it's actually not over. The act of knowing is not over, but then knowing only happens at one point of time. అక్కడి నుంచి పూర్తిగా తెలియడమే అవుతుంది. So that is why it's called an unfinished action. And finished actions, unfinished time word ఉండాలి. Finished action ఉంటే past tense అయిపోతుంది. I ate a cake. Past tense, it's over. No, eating is over. So దీంట్లో ఏముండాలి? Unfinished time word ఉండాలి. For example, I have not seen her this month. Which is this month? March. Is March over? No. This is only the 16th of March. March has another 15 days. March avaledu. ఈ మధ్యలో I have not seen her. సో ఈ అన్ఫినిష్డ్ టైం వర్డ్ ఉంటే తప్ప మనం ఈ టెన్స్ వాడలేము. I have not seen her this month, this week, this year. It can be, there must be a time indicator to show the time is not over. Unfinished time word is very important when you construct this sentence. I have not seen her. I have not seen her ఒక రకం. I did not see her అంటే అసలు చూడలేదు. ఈ నెలంతా చూడలేదు. I have not seen her this month. The second, present result. Impact, ఆ రిజల్ట్ present clear గా ఉంది. I have lost my keys. I lost my keys. I have lost my keys. దీని రెండిటికి డిఫరెన్స్ ఏంటి? I lost my keys అంటే నేను పోయింది అని. కీస్ పోయాయి. I have lost my keys అంటే ఏంటి? ఇప్పుడు వెతుక్కుంటున్నాను నేను. ఇంటి బయట ఉన్నాను. I cannot enter the house. I've lost my keys, so I cannot enter the house. The impact of the past action is felt in the present. దాని ఇంపాక్ట్ ఇప్పుడు అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఉన్న యాక్షన్కి ఇంపార్టెన్స్ ఎక్కువైనప్పుడు, ప్రెసెంట్లో ఉన్న ఇంపాక్ట్ ఎక్కువైనప్పుడు we use the present perfect tense. I've lost my keys. Please search for them. I've lost my keys. I cannot enter the house. I have lost my keys. So I lost my keys is not advisable when you say you're right now, searching for them. I have lost my keys. I have not seen her this month, or I have seen her this month. ఈ month లో చూసాను. I have seen her, I have not seen her, anything, positive or negative sentence. News and recent events also, we use the present perfect tense, has addressed. ఇక్కడ verb ఎలా ఉందో చూడండి. I కైతే have known. I, you, we, they have. He, she, it, and any name in singular has. I singular aina have, special. I is special. Present tense la I is very, very, very special. So I have, she has, I have not, I have lost. He has lost. She has not seen him this month. She has not. She yesterday has. He yesterday has. It yesterday has. Rama, Krishna, Hari, Ram, Rahim, anything singular has. Plural have. I have. You singular aina, plural aina have. Look at this. News and recent events. The Prime Minister has just addressed the nation. ఇప్పుడే అంటే మాట్లాడడం అయిపోయింది, అందుకనే పర్ఫెక్ట్ టెన్స్ వాడుతున్నాం. కానీ ఎప్పుడైంది? ఇప్పుడే అయింది. The Prime Minister has just addressed the nation. దానికి ఈ వర్డ్స్ ఉంటే just, yet, already, recently, ఈ వర్డ్స్ ఉంటే మనం ప్రెసెంట్ పర్ఫెక్ట్ టెన్స్ వాడాలి. She has not yet finished. Negative sentence. She has not yet finished her homework. అది ఇంకా అవ్వలేదు. నెగటివ్ సెంటెన్స్ లో. And any life experience. I have been to the zoo but have never seen the museum. Have been, have never seen. Any life experience, we use the past perfect tense. Past tense కాదు. I went to the zoo. I did not go to the museum. అది చాలా bare sentences. దాని ఇంపాక్ట్ ఉంటే I have been to the zoo అంటే జూలో ఏమైంది, ఎలా ఉంటుంది, దాని గురించి నేను ఇప్పుడైనా చెప్పగలను. So I've been to the zoo, but I have never been to a museum. Museum కానీ నేను ఎప్పుడు చూడలేదు. That kind, ever, never. When we use these, we use the present perfect tense. So present perfect tense, when you learn to use the present perfect tense for finished or unfinished actions, which we use, this is when our language skill is increasing. Our language skill is increasing. It's very, very important. Talking simply is good, is easy. But if you want to speak confidently, you should know the fine difference between present perfect and the past tense. When is the past used and when is the present perfect used? Impact of a past action, completed action on the present, we use the present perfect. Like here, as I said, I'll very quickly finish off with the present పర్ఫెక్ట్ కంటిన్యూస్. సగమైంది, పూర్తయింది, ఇంకా కూడా కంటిన్యూ అవుతున్నారు. ఆ కాన్సెప్ట్ అర్థమైతే చాలు. The present perfect continuous tense, also called the progressive tense, present perfect progressive tense, shows that something started in the past and is continuing in the present. The present perfect continuous is formed using the construction has been or have been plus root verb plus ing. Has been drinking. చిన్నపిల్లలు ఉంటారు, గంటలు గంటలు అన్నం తింటారు. Has been eating for 2 hours. Is eating for 2 hours కంటే కూడా has been eating for 2 hours is a much better construction to say that. Recently and lately are words that we often find with verbs in the present perfect continuous tense. So కొంత అయింది, కొంత ఇంకా అవుతూ ఉంది, జరుగుతూనే ఉంది. ఆ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్ తేవాలి అన్నప్పుడు has been or have been. There are fine difference between present perfect and present perfect continuous. Now, not all verbs can be used with the continuous action. I told you in the very beginning, in the simple present, want, like, know, all these are state verbs. It's a state of understanding, state of being. They cannot be used with the continuous tenses. The same applies here. What applies there applies here too. I've been owning my scooter since 2007. Incorrect. Owning అన్నదానికి ing ఉండదు. I have owned my scooter since 2017. Gautam has been being late for work recently. ఈ మధ్య కాలంలో అతను రోజు లేట్ గానే వస్తున్నాడు ఇంత చెప్పాలి అనుకున్నప్పుడు హీ హ్యాస్ బీన్ లేట్ ఫర్ వర్క్ రీసెంట్లీ. లేట్ గానే ఉన్నాడు అంటే ఈ రోజు ఇంకా కంటిన్యూ అవుతున్నది ఆ లేట్నెస్, కానీ దానికి మనం has been has been late for work, has been coming late for work recently. Not necessary. Has been late is a, has been being late is not necessary. So with these four, it's important for you to know that the present has four forms, the past also has four forms, the future also has four forms. Now very quickly, so we'll wind off with what is the past tense and what is the present tense. We'll ask, mm, can what is the next assignment for you talking about the routine and what was the next one? Very simple. What we'll do in the next class, there are a set of questions here. Now, Varma will announce or rather read the sentence loudly, which is in the simple present. And Pasmeen will try, convert it into a past tense sentence, and I'll call out the verb for it. Start.
I am in school.
I was in school in younger age.
He is a good swimmer.
He was a good swimmer.
The flowers are very beautiful.
The flowers were very beautiful.
Someone has 5 rupees in his pocket.
Taman had 5 rupees in his pocket.
The sun is very hot.
It is universal truth. We cannot change.
Money has a new pen.
Mani had a new pen.
The children are not ready for school.
The children were not ready for school.
We have plenty of time to get to school.
We had a plenty of time to get to school.
Okay, very quickly the corrections. It is not the children's. It is the children are not ready for school. Plural of children is, children itself is plural, child and children. Okay, I am in school, am, present tense. When you change it, I was, he is, he was, the flowers are, the flowers were, Taman has, Taman had, the sun is very hot, rightly pointed out. It's a universal truth, so we cannot change it into the past tense. Money has, money had. Money is the name of the person. The children are, the children were. We had plenty, we had plenty. See how just by changing the helping verb, we change the tense itself. So viewers, you've seen what the present tense is, the simple present, present continuous, present perfect, and present perfect continuous. I hope you have learned something from this session, and in the coming session, we'll do with the past tense and the future tense, the four forms of past tense and the four forms of the future. I hope all of you, go back to your school days and revise your school grammar so that you actually use English correctly in our everyday life. Everyday life is all about constructing sentence after sentence in English in everyday situations. But when we construct a sentence, its correctness matters a lot. Therefore, please pay attention to tense. With these, with this, we'll close today's session. If there are any queries, you can post them in the comment section or in a way, watch the video on YouTube and subscribe for this channel so that everything that Youth Services does for the sake of the public is known to you. You can log in and watch all the programs that Youth Services release. Thank you for now. I hope you've enjoyed the session. Keep learning, keep learning, keep learning, and keep using English in your everyday situations. The more you use English, the better your spoken English is going to be. Thank you and goodbye.